Imagine living in London's Buckingham Palace. This would be the view. This is St. James Park, a beautiful 57-acre park with gardens, a lake, birds, stately trees, and walking paths. It's an oasis surrounded by some of the most famous landmarks in the world. A large statue of Queen Victoria in front of the palace looks out over the park. If you'd like to find a little peace and quiet in the middle of a city with 8.6 million, this would be the place. Come early before London is fully awake, and you'll have it almost to yourself. St. James Park was once mostly marshland with a small river, the Tyburn, flowing through it. It was also the location of a hospital for female lepers. The hospital was named after St. James the Less. It stood about where St. James Palace now stands. In 1532, King Henry VIII purchased the land, but it wasn't until the reign of King James I in 1603 that the park began to take shape. He ordered the marsh drained and gardens planted. He also built an area to house his collection of exotic animals, including camels, crocodiles, and even an elephant. His son, Charles I, succeeded him in 1625. In 1649, the king walked through the park one last time, on his way to the nearby banqueting house where he was executed by anti-royalists during the English Civil War. When the monarchy was restored, his son, Charles II, opened the park to the public. The old canal was converted into a lake, and the park began to look like what we see today. St. James Park is open to the public from 5 a.m. until midnight every day. Buckingham Palace anchors the western edge of the park. Radiating out in a straight line on the northern side of the park is a grand ceremonial procession way called the Mall. This is the entrance to the Mall. It's the Admiralty Arch, built in 1912. One of the arch's smallest and most unusual features is a bronze nose protruding from the northernmost arch. It's said to represent the Duke of Wellington. The Duke defeated the army of Napoleon in the Battle of Waterloo. His nose is just at the right height for a person on horseback to be able to rub it for good luck on the way by. On the far end of the park, you'll see the backsides of important government buildings fronting Whitehall, most notably the Horse Guards Parade Ground, where the official birthday of the Queen is celebrated each June with the trooping of the colors. There is a daily changing of the mounted guard here every day at 11 a.m., 10 on Sunday. On the south side of the park, you'll find Birdcage Walk, named after the royal aviary that once stood here. Today, the road is more famous for the Wellington Barracks, where the troops who stand guard at Buckingham Palace live and train. The park has some of the most stunning views of London, especially from the Blue Bridge in the early morning light. It's a popular place for joggers and photographers. There are 2 small islands in the lake that provide shelter for 17 species of birds, including the descendants of the famous pelicans, a gift from Russia in 1664. Another famous site is the Duck Island Cottage, built in 1837 by the Ornithological Society of London. Nearby are some of the most beautiful flower gardens in the city. St. James Park is a remarkable place to visit. You can rent a deck chair for an hour or a day and just sit. The park has a lovely restaurant and 4 refreshment stands and a playground. Stroll through and enjoy the scenery, or sit for a while and recharge. St. James Park is one of the greatest and most convenient places to visit when you're in London. So many must-see sites are less than a mile in any direction. Trafalgar Square, Parliament, Big Ben, Westminster Abbey, number 10 Downing Street, St. Martin's in the Field, the National Portrait Gallery, Buckingham Palace, St. James Palace, You'll even be able to find the entrance to the Ministry of Magic from Harry Potter, and so much more.